gardeners, I'm going to be showing you guys today how to pinch your plants on a couple different varieties here to encourage them to grow out and bloom more instead of up and get really leggy. Okay, so I've got a couple different examples here for you that I'm going to show you how to pinch. This first one is a Verbena vanity. So the nature of this plant is to kind of grow up and be a little bit leggy, and they have some really kind of spiky looking stems and little flower clusters on top. But we can also encourage it to become a little bit bushier and have a little more flowers on it. So what we're gonna do is, you know what? I think I will turn you around for this part. Okay, so here's our beautiful Verbena plant. So when you look closely at your plant, you've got nodes along each stem. So each kind of little stop here, this is a node, that's a node, there's a node. So it's just kind of the parts of the stem where the leaves are coming out. And at each part here, each node, you're going to get this axillary bud. In this particular plant, they've got one coming out each side above the leaf. So these are going to turn into more stems, and that means more flowers usually. So what you can do is when you pinch or cut off the top of this stem here, now you're telling the plant that you want it to get all of its energy going into those two axillary buds instead of going upwards. So it's going to promote an outward growth instead of an upward growth. So you're going to cut right above here, this stem right here, or pinch, and then these buds are going to start growing out. You can also do it down here. If you wanted to really shorten up your plant, you can cut it off down there. Okay, so now let's cut our stem. So you're going to take your scissors or your fingers. This one is a little bit harder of a stem. I don't think I could do as clean of a job pinching it off with my fingers. So I'm going to use my scissors and I'm going to cut up here. So I'm just cutting right there. So see, you still have those axillary buds that are going to grow outward, but now and actually these ones down below are also going to get the signal to grow outward as well. So like I said, you can cut it down lower if you wanted to, but I'm just going to cut the top off for the purpose of this video. Okay, so there's our Verbena. You can do this with so many plants. So here's a rosemary. And again, we're going to find our nodes. I'm not going to cut this one because it's actually doing really nice. I don't really feel like it needs to be at this moment. But again, here's a node. And here's two axillary buds coming out on top of these leaves. And I would cut it right here. Okay. This goes the same with this Verbena. You've got your axillary buds coming out on top of these leaves here. And you'd cut just about that. And this is a heliotrope again. So sometimes these axillary buds that are going to come out, they're not quite visible yet. You can still cut the plant. They will show up. So just know that, okay, so this one's a little different actually. So it has at each node one leaf and one axillary bud. So again, you're going to cut it right above that axillary bud. But even if that auxiliary bud wasn't quite showing its face yet, know that it will. That's where the buds come out, are right above those leaves at the nodes. So that one you can cut as well. And then basil actually does really well. This bushes out well when you pinch or cut this down. Okay, so as you can see, these basil are pretty small. Let's take this one for example. So these are not true leaves. These were its first sort of leaves that it used when it popped out of its seed shell, and it's using those for food. So you do not want to cut above those first leaves that come out. These right here that you're like, ooh, those look like I could actually eat those. They are the plant's actual first true leaves. And now you'll see in the middle of these true leaves, you've got another couple of leaves coming up. So once those come up, then you could trim off that or pinch off that top there, and you'd get more growth out of this basil plant. But I find that once you, with basil specifically, if you let this grow a little bit bigger, get it so it has a couple of sets of leaves, and then it will really start bushing out for you. But so this guy is too young yet to do anything about it. But these ones are definitely ready for pinching if you feel the need. Okay, so that's how you pinch or cut most plants in order to promote an outward growth. But this isn't the same for all plants. So before you run out and decide you're going to do this to your tomato plants are a little bit different. I mean, you could pinch them like that from the top, but they just have a very different growth habit because you're trying to get actual fruit off of them. So we'll have to make a specific video for pruning tomato plants for you guys. But as for all the rest of your stuff like herbs and basket stuffers, annuals, perennials, a lot of it is just trimming above the auxiliary buds. I hope that was helpful. I'm back because I forgot to mention that when you cut off the tops of these plants, some of these will actually root for you. So you should take them, pop them in a bit of water or rooting hormone, and see if they will take, if they develop little roots for you, and you can have a whole new plant for free.